Hi everybody, welcome back to 30 Days Until Dawn. We're still working on winter and we're still working on poems after, and so this one will be after William Carlos Williams. William Carlos Williams being one of the great poets of the 20th century. If you haven't read his stuff, you have to. He's just absolutely one of the most brilliant poets who's ever lived. And he really took Ezra Pound's ideas of imagism and ran with them, and he took ideas from E. Cummings and ran with them, and he was really just absolutely one of the best. I could teach an entire course of basic poetry writing just based on the poetry of William Carlos Williams, and people would get a lot out of that. Anyway, he's a tremendously good poet, and we're going to take a look at what he does. He always will hit you in unexpected ways. This is called Winter Trees. All the complicated details of the attiring and disattiring are complete. All the complicated details of the attiring and disattiring are completed. A liquid moon moves gently among the long branches, thus having prepared their buds against a sure winter. The wise trees stand sleeping in the cold. Now, this is a poem that you can get a lot more of reading than hearing out loud, so go back and read this. What you'll notice, though, is what he's doing with this is he's taking natural elements and he's either personifying them, or he's liquefying them, or he's doing things to them that they wouldn't do. It all works, even though it doesn't make sense. For example, he's talking about the leaves losing their first getting their leaves and then losing their leaves, and he's calling these complicated details, right, as though they're planning this or something, you know. And the moon is a liquid moon, and both of these things make kind of a sense without making any sense, right? And then the third section is doing something. So what he's doing is he's trying to find alternative ways to understand and look at and recognize the natural world. And that's I think one of the ways that you could approach this this problem. Let's take alternative ways of describing, ways that have never been described before, especially the winter. So if I were in Los Angeles, and I'm thinking about the winter. I say Los Angeles because I'm from Los Angeles. If you're from Oakland, don't do an LA poem. You know, if you're from where else? So Baltimore, there's somebody doing from Baltimore. Don't do that. But if I were doing it from Los Angeles, I might talk about the Santa Ana wind. And okay, so what is the Santa Ana wind like? It's horrible. It's a terrible thing. It makes everyone angry. Now I want to find a new way of describing. So I'm probably not going to go with the record scratch, right? Because that's people have done that. But you know what it does is it forms hangnails on your fingers, right? So I might call this the hangnail heat of late autumn or early winter. The hangnail heat of early winter comes in, and that's pretty good. I might go with that. Okay, so talk about this. It's a new way of thinking about it, a new way of looking at it. Or I might think of it as steamroller heat. No, that's terrible. That's God's dryer. No, that's ridiculously bad.
Hangnail's your winner.
Was that?
Hangnail is your winner.
Hangnail is my winner, and that's the way I go with it. It's a different way of thinking. It's not exactly what he's doing, but it's certainly prompted by him. If you've never read William Carlos Williams, after you read this poem, read This Is Just to Say, which is probably his most famous. Oh, well, The Red Wheelbarrow is also famous. And after you've read The Red Wheelbarrow, think about how important the line is. So much depends in that poem, right? Without that line, the poem is meaningless. Okay, anyway, so take a look at this, write the poem and put it down below, and I'll see you tomorrow on 30 Days Until Dawn. Oh, by the way, next month we're going to do a month of revision. So if you've been following along all year long, I almost said semester because that's the way I think. If you've been following along all year long, maybe gather up some of the poems you can work on, and we'll talk about what it means to revise rather than simply edit. And it's going to be at least 1 month. It might be 2, but I promise you it won't be more. Okay, so I'll see you next day on 30 Days Until Dawn.